Morning, everybody. I'm gonna get a video out before I have to continue to go through more of my mother's stuff to get the charity, and the woman had tons of clothes, so it's gonna be a long day. But, I'm gonna get this one out. Yeah, it's early in the morning if you can't tell, because my crazy hair is doing crazy things. Welcome, everybody that's new. If you're relatively new or not even, don't forget to go back and check out the older videos because there's some good content there. Check out the playlist for whatever reason relates to you more. Could be the INFJ stuff, could be the ENFJ stuff, could be the narcissistic abuse stuff. I highly doubt it's the witchcraft stuff, but if it is, hi, because not many of us. Want to get into another narcissism video and hopefully give some people some validation. That's why I do those. If these videos of any kind have given you any help, please like and subscribe, because that doesn't cost anything and it helps the algorithm. And if you really think I deserve it, you can throw me a tip via the super thanks. And if you want to suggest a topic for a video, you can send a super thanks and tell me what you want me to do a video about, and I get to it within a week usually, but you never know. So I don't make promises I can't keep, because breaking promises got me hit as a kid. So that's pretty ingrained in me. My dad was a big dude and an ex-Marine, so yeah, not fun. But one thing, a lot of people, when they deal with narcissists or someone who exhibits lots of narcissistic tendencies, one of the most notable things they all have is their epic sense of entitlement, right? We all notice that. You don't have to be an intuitive to see that. So, why does a narcissist feel so entitled? What's the why behind it? I always found that interesting. So that's what we're going to get into, because when understanding narcissistic abuse, you got to get into their sick minds and wonder what makes them tick, and it's not always fun. But this is something that's very, very important to understand when dealing with narcissists, why they have that epic sense of entitlement. So there's some key points on this. Entitlement is actually the key trait that drives narcissistic behavior. That's what drives them, that feeling of, I'm better than everybody, the rules don't apply to me, I'm me, and all should, anything that comes out of my mouth, it's like it's carried out from on high because it's me saying it. Oh, I love myself. Yeah, that's your narcissist. When a narcissist, doesn't get like their way with entitlement, if somebody stands up to them and it's like, you don't have the power to do that, or who the fuck are you, kind of shit, they get angry. They get angry, they get angry, they get angry, and then they try to get even, because nobody, everybody must bow to their will because they're them. This is particularly true in like dealing with a narcissist at work, especially like a middle management type that, got that little bit of power, and now they're punch drunk on it and strutting around like they're, like they're the chief of police. Like you see shit like someone's like a restaurant manager and they act like they're, like the superintendent of state highway patrol. So both covert and overt narcissists become very angry and express this frustration and entitlement in different ways, but it's there for both types. Borderlines too, but they're not really good at hiding anything. They're kind of, it's out there for everybody to see. There's really no mask with a borderline, at least not for long. They think they're fooling people, but they don't fool really anybody, at least not for long. Just a lot of people, when dealing with them, don't speak out because they're afraid at how epic the meltdown will be. Yeah, that was the case with my mother. Ooh, epic meltdown. Pretty much every borderline I've ever met, people are, because you never know what they're going to do. They can act like that. And, so the narcissist's entitlement is, this feeling of they're better than everybody. They have more rights than everybody else does. They have the right to decide everything in the lives of the people around them, be it their main target, their scapegoat, their enablers, all of them. To a narcissist, they are like the sun, and everybody else revolves around them. They are the nucleus. All information must flow through them. So an entitled narcissist will demand that everybody tells them everything about everybody, because narcissists love gossip. And then from that information, the narcissist, via their entitlement, will then, acting like a dictator, decide who can do what, like what rules apply to who. So with an entitled narcissist, they never have like everybody's treated the same, like a standard by which they treat people. It's different rules for different people, and it's all based on basically how much supply that narcissist gets from that person, how much they kiss their ass, and are they an enabler or do they stand up to them. So the more you enable that narcissistic behavior, the more you feed their entitlement, the more rights the godlike narcissist will bestow on you. And it can be anything from, they gossip about you less. If it's at work, you might get like better hours or better tips, better tables, depending on what your job is, better route, depends on your job. But if you're on the shit end of it, then they'll make decisions that they believe they're entitled to, that they're not, like who you can talk to on and off the clock, who you can date, things like that, because they believe, via their entitlement, that these decisions are theirs to make, because even off the clock, they view anybody they supervise as their property, and they will refer to them as my this, my greenskeepers, my bartender, my delivery drivers, my waitresses. Literally, that's I've encountered a couple of them, and that's something I noticed as a pattern with narcissistic bosses, is they all refer to their employees as property and fully believe and feel they have the entitlement to dictate what they can do both on and off the clock with great fervor, especially if anybody tries to tell them that that's not within their rights. Oh, do they get mad real fast, real fast. Last one I called out on that was about to come at me with a tray. All for just saying, like you can't tell adults what to do in their personal life. No supervisor can. Like even when I was a firefighter, if my captain tried to tell me who I could talk to, off the clock, he'd be written up real fast. But there's actually things in place in fire departments to hold people accountable for their actions. It takes forever, but the system is there. So the grandiosity of the narcissist's entitlement and vulnerability in like their insecurity of who they are can exist simultaneously. And you'll notice that with the entitled narcissist, some days they'll appear to be more vulnerable. And that vulnerability is just a mask. It's a front. They want people to feel sorry for them. But in these instances, why they want people to feel sorry for them is because somebody questioned their entitlement. So they want that reassurance that like, oh, they do so much and they're so great. And once one of their enablers builds that back up, then they're right back to strutting around like a tin pot dictator. Threats to their entitlement. Yeah, this is how you get on a narcissist shit list real quick. Threats to their entitlement, antagonistic behavior will get an immediate reaction out of a narcissist. This can lead to even more grandiose behavior, displays of anger and rage, like they're going to put their entitlement out. They're going to show their true selves. So when somebody, questions their authority, or even just their level authority, like what authority is actually within their scope, they will lose it and become, what's called high visible narcissistic rage, and probably fly off, and start yelling about who they are, and every other word will be, I'm boss this, boss that, yeah. And they'll justify everything that they do, through their title. And they'll start rambling off things that are certainly not within any boss's power, and even more so if topics come up that don't take place at work. But they will, with great fervor, and great fervor and entitlement go on a rant about how basically everybody must obey them. They truly believe that not only do they have the right to do that, I said that, but they truly believe that they're automatically right. So if they have a negative opinion of two people being friends or of, two people dating, whatever, they're going to automatically assume that they are right without even providing evidence. And their entitlement thinks that they don't have to. So if they just say, no, no, that's bad, that won't work, you're just supposed to take that at face value. You're wrong. The narcissist is so entitled. You're wrong if you even try to question them, like, why do you think that? Or worse yet, if you go, what gives you that right? Like, this is none of your business. Like, everything's the narcissist business. See, part of their entitlement is what they truly want is for everybody in any decision to seek their almighty approval. They want to be like the Pope. You cannot do anything until I bless it. Yeah. And they believe that they make all the right decisions. They know what's best for everybody, even people they barely know, but they love control. And the narcissist love of control ties in with the entitlement because they feel that they're entitled to treat people however they want, control every aspect of their life. And they love doing that because most, if not all of them, get off on wielding power over other people. And with wielding power comes abuse of power. And with entitlement comes abuse of power. So it's very common with a narcissist to abuse what power they have into ridiculous realms and justify it through the entitlement that they feel they have via that title. Any type of like managerial supervisor title to a narcissist, that's like ultimate power. Like they can do whatever they want. Like I said, it can be, the slightest, like, the first level of management, like just the slightest supervisory oh man, they have been deified in their own minds, and their entitlement leads them to believe that now all these people are under me, like they're my property. They must bow to my every whim. I get to make all their decisions or else. And they believe then at that point that the rules don't apply to them. Like I said, this is mainly more, in a workplace setting, but you can deal with it with narcissistic parents too. Narcissistic parents believe that they can make all their decisions for their where you're going to school, what you're majoring in, what your job's going to be. Borderlines will even try to tell you who to date. My mother certainly did. It never worked. But who did she try, and who did she ruin a relationship or two of mine when I was younger to try to get me to date the girl she picked out, who was, it's like, she's a borderline too with drug problems. Like, I know how this story plays out. No, 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 not once, never. Yeah. But their entitlement leads them to believe that it doesn't matter what the target wants. It doesn't matter. Your personal feelings, the feelings of the people involved don't matter. It's what the narcissist wants to happen, because part of the entitlement too, as well as everybody exists to please them. You're all just pawns in their game. It's the world revolves around them, and they can move the other pieces around as they see fit, because in their minds, they're the most all-knowing, all-powerful, best equipped person that has ever existed. So if whatever they're saying in their minds is by definition true, right? No facts required. It's just, well, I said it, so it's right. I can't be wrong. I'm me. I'm me. Don't you know who I am? I've seen that, in my back in my early days when I first got in the EMS in 2004. I saw some people that I would now say were most likely narcissists, car accidents and stuff that they cause. Obviously, we're right there. The police is there with us. They'll be spewing some managerial title uh, to the police as if that's going to get them off. Like, I run this I run this company, I'm this financial guy. And with full fervor thinking that, well, like, don't you know who I am? Like, I'm a big shot, or because it's Chester County, a lot of it is, don't you, my granddad was, was a county commissioner in 1983. Shit like that. Fully believing and fully feeling entitled to the fact that this name dropping of either their title or the names of people they know will get them off. That's a good sign of, a narcissist. And it is also an example of that. Why I bring it up is it shows, as I've mentioned before, that the littlest bit of power makes the narcissist feel like a god. So a narcissist is the kind of person that would be stopped by the police for a car accident or for a DUI check and think that saying that they're management of some kind will get them off. I've seen it happen. It's been a long time, but that's stuff I never forgot, because I remember scratching my head at the time in my late teens going, how entitled is this person? Like, they really think they're like some big shot. Yeah. So, but with the narcissist entitlement, the entitlement never ends. They always feel that way. They always feel like they have every right to control whatever aspect of anybody's life that they see fit. And the entitlement extends to them feeling that they never have to answer for that. Like, you're in the wrong if you simply ask, like, well, what gives you that right? Like, this is none of your business, Like, if those two are friends, who cares? If those two are going out, that's between them. Like, you don't get a say just because you're the supervisor. Yeah. Yeah. Or, some back in high school, someone even, I knew one narcissist thought he had the right to tell people what to do because he was the student council vice president. Yeah. How pathetic is that? You talk about a little power going to somebody's head, right? But the entitlement never ends. It only gets worse the older the narcissist gets. If they achieve any real measure of influence or real power, and by real power, I mean, like, if the narcissist gets into a position where they actually have power, like law enforcement or maybe like state legislature, some type of elected position, who they might as well be president at that point. So it's important to notice that this entitlement is what drives a lot of narcissists to seek any power they can get. The more power, the more influence, the better. But they're going to make the most out of whatever they get. Like, even if they're just, like a bar manager or something, they're going to try to wield absolute power over the bartenders that work under them, because it's all about getting power and abusing that power beyond its means and trying to control people completely and utterly as if they were their property. So, little insight on narcissistic entitlement. Best you can do is go no contact. If no contact's not possible, then I just did a video on low contact that more people should watch, because not many channels like mine talk about low contact. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Send a super thanks if you want. Watch the older videos. Remember, trust your intuition. If you think you're dealing with narcissistic entitlement, the best you can do is, well, go no contact. But if you can't, tell the truth. Go to somebody above the narcissist. Tell them how they're abusing their power. Because when a narcissist abuses their power, there's things that they're going to be asked from their superior that they can't answer for. And their entitlement's not a valid answer. Because I said so, because it's me. Yeah, that's always fun to watch when they get called out. And remember, don't sell out your integrity to please a narcissist, because you can never please a narcissist. Even if you please one momentarily, they're just going to keep moving the goalpost.